For cruisers porting out of Port Everglades, they likely want to find a hotel for the night before stay at Fort Lauderdale. This cruise port in Fort Lauderdale is officially named Port Everglades, and it technically straddles not just Fort Lauderdale, but also Hollywood and Dania Beach. Now, it's only about 29 miles from Port Miami, and while it's small comparatively, Port Everglades accommodates nearly 3 million cruise passengers each year. But remember, if you're sailing out of Port Everglades, always check flight and hotel prices in and out of Miami as well, because Fort Lauderdale and Miami, they're not far. Now, like my recommendations for Miami, as with hotels in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, I do not recommend staying at a beach property in the months here in March and April, because this is spring break season and the beaches are going to be crowded, filled with rowdy college students, so just don't do it. Also, like the Miami area, the Fort Lauderdale area is generally a little more expensive than other port cities, so be cognizant of that. And this is especially the case if you opt for a beachside or a beachfront hotel. If you go for a beachfront hotel, also make sure you ask about resort fees, because sometimes that can get tacked on as well. Here are my 3 recommendations for Fort Lauderdale beachfront properties. First is the W Fort Lauderdale. Now, this is a Marriott property. It's a luxury hotel with beachside access, and that means that guests must cross the street to access the beach, but it's not far. It's a small inconvenience because once you're there, guests have access to complimentary loungers, umbrellas, and towels, and there are tons of restaurants, some with live music that are in close proximity to the hotel. Now, in terms of distance to port, it's only about 13 to 15 minutes. So getting there via rideshare like Uber is fast and affordable. The resort fee is a little steep, $45 per night, but it does include other amenities like use of bicycles and yoga classes on a first come, first served basis. My next pick is Lago Mar Beach Club and Resort. Now, this property is less than 5 miles from the port and is consistently rated as one of the best hotels in Fort Lauderdale. Although, be forewarned, its luxury and high quality, it comes at a cost, because this is also one of the more expensive hotel options in the area. Cruisers who are willing to splurge, though, will likely find an amazing experience here with top-notch service and unparalleled cleanliness. This property is noted for its family-friendly and quiet vibe, and it offers easy access to 500 feet of private beach. That's the distinction here, it's private beach access. Guests also get to use complimentary towels and beach chairs, although they do rent umbrellas at an additional cost, which I don't like nickel and diming like that. But there are no resort fees, and that's a huge plus. My third recommendation is Hotel Maren Fort Lauderdale Beach. This property has the look and feel of a boutique hotel, but it's part of the Hilton Curio collection. So if you're a Hilton card holder, you may get additional perks like a waived resort fee. This Fort Lauderdale hotel is high rated and moderately priced compared to the other beachfront hotel options. It's located directly across the street from Las Olas Beach, and it's a short walk from several bars and restaurants. The daily resort fee is $45, so a little steep, but that covers guest access to beach chairs, towels. You also can access yoga classes, you get free included Wi-Fi, and there also is a daily included signature drink. Like the last property, umbrellas here are an additional rental cost, but it's close to the port, only about 6 miles. Now, there are a ton of great Fort Lauderdale beach hotel options, but these are my top 3 hand-picked properties based on my experience talking to other cruisers and consideration of cost, location, and guest ratings. But next, let's talk about the affordable options if you're just looking for a clean and comfortable place to stay before your cruise. First up is Comfort Suites Fort Lauderdale Airport and Cruise Port. Located less than 3 miles from both the Fort Lauderdale Airport and Port Everglades, this hotel is conveniently located right in the middle of it all. Guests enjoy free shuttle service from the airport, along with free Wi-Fi and hot breakfast. Now, this property, though, it's a prime example of how cruisers sometimes get so caught up in the aspect of finding a shuttle to port that they don't realize that this might not be the best option. Now, in this case, I like the hotel, but I don't like the shuttle option. They contract with a third-party cruise port shuttle provider to get guests from the hotel to the port. And if you do that, you have to schedule for pickup at a specified time, either 9, 9:45, 10:45, 11:45, or 12:45. The cost is $15 per person. Now, let's compare that to an Uber. Because of the hotel's close proximity to port, you can actually take an Uber with up to 4 people for only around $10 to $15. So in this case, an Uber is substantially going to be cheaper than taking the port. So I don't like that, but I love that this hotel has a great location, great prices, it's always clean and highly rated. But if you stay here, I would skip the shuttle service. Next is Hyatt Place Fort Lauderdale Cruise Port. This property is also close to port, only about 3 miles. I like this one because it's just a few minutes walk to some great attractions, so you can enjoy things the evening before your cruise. This includes bars, restaurants, and the Harbor Shops Mall. If you stay here, you get complimentary continental, not hot, but continental breakfast and free Wi-Fi, and the hotel offers a shuttle to port. Their shuttle cost is a little cheaper at $9 per person, and you have to schedule it to check-in, But again, unless you're traveling solo, 2 to 4 people, it's gonna be a lot cheaper and way more convenient just to take an Uber. My third Fort Lauderdale pick is Courtyard, Fort Lauderdale Airport and Cruise Port. Like the other 2 recommended properties, this hotel is located close to both airport and port, but this has the distinction of being along the Tri-Rail station. It receives high marks for friendly staff and cleanliness, and unlike the other properties, it does not offer free breakfast, but they do include Wi-Fi and an airport shuttle. As for the shuttle to the port, you can schedule that at check-in through their recommended third-party provider for pickup at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., noon, or 1 p.m. But get this, hold your pants. Their shuttle service costs $20 per person. It's highway robbery. Don't do it. You can Uber up to 4 people again, $10 to port because it's so close. So with all of these properties, I recommend them all, but I recommend you do not use their shuttle service. So there you have it. If you like this video and want more content like this, including helpful tips and strategies for your cruising adventures, check out my blog at profmelissa.com, where you can subscribe to my newsletter. Oh, and don't forget, hit that subscribe button right here on YouTube. Happy sailing!